Welcome to our latest episode of Independence for America. At Independence for America, we tell the stories of state and local independent candidates. My name is Mike Cantwell. I'm the host of Independence for America, and my special guest today is Jay Doyle. Jay is the newly elected mayor of Georgetown, South Carolina, and a proud Forward Party candidate. How you doing today, Jay?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to do this video podcast. I know you're looking for a blizzard hitting your town. Is it already snowing there?
No, not yet. We're supposed to start getting some flurries soon, but the big stuff won't get there until about 4 o'clock.
Okay. Well, I'm sure as mayor, you're going to be on top of that and making sure all the people are doing what they need to be doing, and thanking our local public servants that have to deal with these challenges. So really appreciate that. So tell me a little bit about where you grew up and about your childhood and maybe how some of your family shaped who you are today.
Okay. Well, I was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, one of 8 children. Started out in Catholic schools, and about the time I got to 4th grade, we moved to a small town called Belmont, right next door to Cambridge. It was fun growing up in a big family. You always had someone to play with. But, being in a big family, you learn to be self-sufficient too. There's not always enough to go around, so you have to fend for yourself. So I started working fairly young, and started my own business when I was 21 years old. And, worked many years at that, and finally retired to move down south. And here I am now. Didn't really intend to get into politics, but, things were happening in the city, and I felt there was a need to have another voice heard. So I stepped up and threw my hat in the ring.
That's great. I'll circle back to that in a little bit, but for
Okay.
our viewers and listeners, tell us a little bit about Georgetown, South Carolina. Give us like a little word picture of, if people
Okay.
are not familiar with that area of the country and your town.
Okay. Georgetown is situated between Myrtle Beach and Charleston along the coast. We're not oceanfront. We have a very large bay, Winya Bay, and 5 rivers actually converge into it. We're the 3rd oldest city. We have had some very strong economic periods during before the Revolutionary War. Our biggest product was indigo dye, which we sold to England, but after the war, they stopped buying that, and the main product became rice. And rice had us as the richest county in the United States up until the Civil War, and the loss of the free labor and a series of hurricanes that inundated the rice fields with salt water put an end to the rice crop, and brought some hard economic times to the city. There were other products that have brought the city back. Chad Roe, caviar type product, was a big product for a while, and we also had a big lumber boom. But right now we have just lost a couple of mills, a steel mill and a paper mill. So we're kind of at a downturn, but we're looking to turn that around and start bringing some industry back to the city.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just got done watching the American Revolution with Ken Burns, and they actually mentioned Georgetown several times in some of the Revolutionary War battles. It's pretty prominent down there. So I'm sure it's a very historic town. And I've seen pictures from your website, and it looks like just a beautiful place, a lot of water, and very quaint town. Is tourism a big part of your town too?
It is. We've a very good-sized historic district here. I'm lucky enough to reside in that historic district. We do have a lot of tourism, but it's a nice place to stop in and visit, but it's not a place where you're going to stay for several days.
Right.
It's a nice place to come for a day or two, but it's tourism is definitely part of our economy, but it's not something we can base our economy on.
All right. So tell me a little bit about your political journey. Were you ever active in the Republican or Democratic parties? And tell us a little bit about your campaign, some of the details of like if people are listening to this and they're thinking about running for local office, all the things you need to do to run a successful political campaign. But let's start with the major political parties first and being an independent or a forward party person.
Well, I was retired, and I had the time to read the newspaper every day, and I subscribed to the Wall Street Journal, and I kind of narrowed it down where I would just read the op-eds every day. And so I had a pretty good feeling for what was happening nationally. And, so when it came time to run and pick a party, I didn't really feel good about joining either the Democratic or Republican Party. I'm not happy with everything Donald Trump is doing, and I'm not happy with a lot of things that Joe Biden had done. So I had to pick a party, and I was given a list within South Carolina.
Well, did you have to register for a political party in Massachusetts, and I guess that was a while ago. What year did you move to Georgetown?
I believe it was 2009.
Okay, so it's been a while now that you've been a resident there, but you grew up and lived in Massachusetts, and
Right.
I think if I recall, they've closed primaries up there or open primaries.
I believe they are closed primaries. They're by party.
You have to register by party. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're down there in Georgetown, and you're becoming an integral part of the community. You're retired, and then you're like, kind of getting your political awareness a little bit at that time, or a few
Right.
years ago.
Right, right. And at South Carolina, you don't actually register in a party. In Massachusetts, I was registered as an independent. Down here, you don't actually register in a party, and you're allowed to vote in either primary, either the Democratic or Republican primary. But when it comes time to run for office, you do have to join a party. You can't just run and say, I'm an independent. You have to be part of some political party.
Even local office, you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So just to fill in some of the viewers here, I ran for Arlington County Board in Arlington, Virginia in 2021. It's state law that local offices are nonpartisan. And so the parties can get involved with a candidate, but on the ballot, it just has your name. There's no RD or I or anything next to it. But I'm assuming in South Carolina, you have to have your political affiliation next to your name on the ballot.
I think we're on the opposite extreme. We still have partisan voting, where you can go into the voting booth and you could just push Democrat or Republican and be done and walk away.
Wow.
And come to find out, actually, in this election, you could actually vote a straightforward party candidate. The whole forward party slate, which was me, and actually 29 people did do that.
Right. So, all right. So, let me circle back to you're getting politically aware. You're getting involved in your community, and you're thinking about running for local office. So, walk us through all that.
All right. Well, it started with a development they were proposing to put near my house, and that's where I started following along with the local politics. And then we have a comprehensive plan, and I didn't like how the city was handling either one of those. I thought they were leaning a little too heavily towards helping the developer and not really representing the citizens of the city. Beyond that, we lost, like I said, we were losing our mills, and it looked like the way things were going, a lot of lifelong residents in the city were going to be priced out of the city, and it was going to clear away for more and more development, and I just couldn't sit back and just let that happen. I wanted to at least raise awareness, let people know what was actually going on, because a lot of people are busy. They don't have time to be fully aware of local politics.
Right.
So my goal was just to raise awareness, not really thinking I had a great shot running as a third-party candidate.
And so, how did you learn about the Forward Party, and did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them? And was there some sort of vetting process?
Yeah, I was given, when I went to register to run, they said, you have to run as a party, and they gave me a list of all the different parties. So I had to go home and look through each party and research them all. I came across the Forward Party, and I thought they very much aligned with my philosophy. And I reached out to the state chair, Clint Eisenhower, and him and I had a good conversation. I decided that I wanted to run under their platform. and I had to fill out an application. I had to sign an oath pledging that I would conduct myself in a certain manner, and they vetted me out. Later on, I had to be nominated by the party to be officially be the candidate since we don't have a primary. But Clint helped me with all of that, and off I went.
I think that's a great story. So I'm very involved in the forward party here in Northern Virginia, and we've had 5 or 6 candidates over the last 3 years that we've gone through that same process, and they ran great campaigns, but unfortunately none of them won. And as you know, sometimes you can be a forward party candidate, but you can also be an affiliate of a
Yes.
Republican or Democrat or an independent. So we of those 5 people, we had people of all different stripes. So we had some true independents who wanted to be affiliated. We had some forward party people, and we had some Republicans and Democrats. So I thought that was, and I was part of the vetting process, and it was really great to see people learn about the forward party and then decide to run and everything. So you probably had to set up a campaign committee, you had to raise a little bit of money, and then you had to
Yep.
go do a lot of door to door, and probably had to get signatures to get on the ballot too, right?
Well, that's kind of the assumption everyone has, and no,
As long as
we
you're
had
nominated by the political party, you're on the ballot.
I'm on the ballot, right? And so we tried to raise people that have shown interest in the forward party to come out and help. But again, that was such a long shot that people really didn't want to invest money and put their name to it yet. They kind of just sat back and watched. So the way I ran my campaign is I was lucky enough to meet Kayla Sullivan, a member of the Forward Party, and she agreed to be my campaign manager. And she handled social media, and she did a great job. So you couldn't help but see my name out there. We tried different things, shooting videos and things like that. And what I did go door to door a couple of times, but not a lot. What I did is I reached out to community leaders, all right, church leaders, civic leaders. I sat down with them and gave them my case and tried to get them to support me. And I think I was very successful there. And a lot of community leaders started backing me, and then other people that were just politically active, even though they weren't forward party. They were more worried about both the candidate and the philosophy than the party, and they crossed over and they started really picking up the slack and going door to door for me.
So what were some of the issues that people were talking to you about, and what were they sharing with you about their frustration with the Republicans and the Democrats?
Well, the biggest thing here was we lost a whole bunch of jobs with the mills closing, and at the same time, the city was raising our utility bills. The bill has like 9 different categories, and they were systematically raising each category every year to the point where in 4 years, our utility bills had increased 50%, over 50%. And at a time when people are out of work and hurting, it was a terrible time for this to be happening. So I was able to talk to the people and say, I understand your problem. I researched the problem and showed, where the money was going, and discuss ways we can at least toe the line or possibly bring them back down. And I think that really resonated with the people. Like they say, at the end of the day, people vote their pocketbook, and that's
Yeah.
what happened here.
So what are some of your innovative ideas to try to lure some jobs back to Georgetown?
Well, I have 2 different approaches. One is there's a one thing that Georgetown is rich in this area is timber. We have over 12 million acres of timberland, and not to be confused with a forest. The forest is something set aside as a natural preserve. Timberland is actually a crop. People own land and they grow trees for profit. And there are 3 different cuttings, so that you cut out the weak ones at the beginning, and you make one product out of that, and so on and so on. So you get to the real good ones, you make the telephone poles and you lumber out of that. One of my thoughts was to have what they call cross-laminated timber, which is a new technology where they take lumber and they stack it in opposite directions, put some high-strength glue, and compress it. And I think that would be a great fit for the city. So there is a convention out in Portland, Oregon, trying to get out there to possibly recruit companies to come back and make that product here. A second approach is Clemson University, one of our top universities here in South Carolina, actually has a department that focuses on recruiting companies that would fit into different areas of the state to help the state economy thrive. And I've reached out to them, and there was a company in Finland that may be interested in coming to Georgetown to possibly set up multiple different uses of our timber products. And we're hopefully taking a trip to Helsinki, Finland in April to recruit them and bring them back here.
Those are some really innovative ideas. I was on one of my previous podcasts. Mark Hawkins, he had a great idea to partner with the local military base and have them literally paving the roads in California City, California, as part of the military's training. And I just thought that was really a way to like partner with various organizations that becomes a win-win-win for everybody. So now, how did national and state partisan politics impact your election, your campaign, and your election? Was there a lot of that, or was it really local?
No, there was very little national issues brought into the campaign. It was all local issues, jobs and utility bills, and transparency and listening to the people. I think people felt like I listened to them and was concerned for their future, and I think that's what resonated with the people. Nothing really national came up.
Now, did you beat an incumbent, or was it an open seat?
I beat an incumbent. There was actually, the incumbent mayor was Republican, and there were also 3 city council seats up for election, and the 3 incumbent Republicans were running, and I ran in harmony with the 3 Democratic candidates, and the 4 of us swept in.
Yeah, I remember reading that it basically flipped the entire, well, at least everybody that was running this cycle all flipped.
Right.
So, well, I'm kind of glad that this really focused on local issues rather than people bringing in national and state issue, because that happens in Arlington frequently. So
right, yeah, and luckily we were able to focus more on the people and their policies and less upon just voting the same way you always vote.
Yeah. Well, you broke through. I mean, that's amazing. What was your percentage win? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was officially 56 to 44, but because of the partisan voting and that I was running in a new party, a lot of people didn't understand how they would have to vote. They just went in and voted straight ticket. So there were actually 167 ballots where nobody actually voted for mayor. They just voted straight ticket, Democrat or Republican. So it's safe to assume that those people had intended to vote for me, because my opponent was in a political party and you could either vote directly for her or vote a straight ticket. If you added those other ballots into my total, I would actually had a 59% total.
I mean, that's pretty amazing for a first-time candidate and a new political party. So hats off to you for that. So,
well, thank you. There's a statistic that somebody sent me the day after the election from San Francisco. So I don't know how somebody from San Francisco is following our election, but the statistic he showed us, and as far as we know, it's true, is I am the first candidate to win a partisan election as a third-party candidate since 1894 in the state of South Carolina.
Holy cow. That's pretty amazing.
Pretty proud of that.
So what are your thoughts about the Forward Party and the independent movement? Do you think it's gaining steam? And what are your outlook about the future of the minor party movement and the Forward Party?
I think, with my victory, we've got a toehold here. We're trying to recruit a couple of candidates to possibly run in the county. I'm in Georgetown County, but we already have 2 people up in Horry County, which is the next county north of us, that are going to run straight Forward Party. So we've got a toehold here, and I think we actually have 3 people running straight Forward Party. I'm not 100% sure of that, but in Horry County. So we could possibly have as many as 5 candidates running for city council in the November elections. So that's a pretty good jump from 1 to 6.
Yeah, I think that's great, and that's part of my philosophy of, start local and scale, right?
Right, right.
And hopefully you'll do a great job as mayor, and then that'll be a good example
Right.
for others and things like that. So you were
Yeah.
sworn in at the beginning of the year. Tell me about your first few weeks of office.
um, it's been hectic. You have a lot to learn. You want to take some initiatives. One of the things I've started doing right out of the gate is we're putting a rezoning moratorium in place. I don't feel we have a good plan. We did a comprehensive plan recently in the city, and I was less than happy about how it was done and what the end result was. So we are putting a moratorium in place, and we're going to relook at that plan. And we also just did a unified design ordinance, and that was rushed through by the previous administration, as in their last month or two. So we want to slow down, take a look at that, and I want to have the future of the city look more towards the people that have lived here their whole life, and less towards who the people are that are going to move here.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the messages I had in my campaign. I think people appreciate that.
Although there's a little bit of a double-edged sword of affordable housing, and
Right.
is there housing that's affordable for low income earners?
No, no, that's a very big problem. And you know, I just attended a meeting and we discussed that the other night. And one of the problems is because we don't have any industry or jobs, that we don't have that upward mobility where people start out with a low rent and then move the way up and buy bigger houses. So we don't have that going on here. So people that do get the affordable workforce housing stay in it. So we don't have that coming in, and it's very difficult to build new at the price level that people can afford. But one initiative we're in the process of starting is a housing and redevelopment authority, where we will get funding and we will start going around some blighted neighborhoods and buying up property, fixing it up, and selling it to people with low income and getting them back in decent housing.
I think there's some good ideas, and especially if you have blighted areas that you have
Right.
authority and money to purchase those and then fix them up, and then have other people live in them again. You don't want, I think Detroit is an example of that. By the way, I don't know if you know this, there's an independent mayor of Detroit who's running for governor of Michigan. Have you been following that race at all? Mike
I have.
Mike
Unfortunately,
Dugan, I think his name is. Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Well,
now that I've gotten elected, I no longer have time to read the paper. My hands are pretty full.
an official mayor now, so you should
Right,
go to all those mayors conferences sometime in the future.
right, right. Yes, yep.
All right. So have you heard of the Good Party? Do you know what that's all about?
Yes, I have. Yes, and they were helpful in my campaign. I was allowed to tap into some of their resources. So yeah, that's a great asset for the forward party.
Yeah. Again, for the viewers, it's another, or it's called the Good Party, but it's not a party. It actually provides tools and resources to independent or minor party candidates. And anybody that is thinking about running should Google the Good Party, and get on there, get some of their tools and help. And they are well funded. And the guy that founded it is nonpartisan and is just trying to make democracy work a little bit better. So I reckon, even though we're talking about the Forward Party, there's also these other organizations that are helpful to independent and minor party candidates.
Right.
So
It,
go ahead, Jay.
I just want this is it's a statistic when I have these conversations that never really comes up, and I think it's a very important point to raise. 70% of the elections in this country are unopposed. 70%. So I think, and had I not stepped up, this election would have been unopposed for the mayor. So it provides a great opportunity for a third party candidate, such as a forward party, because you have one party that's not represented. Okay, as if you just ran as a Democrat against a Republican, well, it's the same old, same old. But as a third party candidate, I was able to draw from the Democratic vote, because they had no candidate. At the same time, I was also able to dip into the Republican vote as well. And so, because of being a third party candidate, I think in the number of non contested election, it gives forward party candidates a great opportunity to be able to step in and pull off some upsets.
I think you're absolutely correct. And again, here in Arlington, we've been very fortunate to recruit some really high quality candidates. And even though they didn't win, this is what I tell the Democrats here. I said, you know, our forward party candidates made you a better county board member because they brought up issues and challenged you
Right.
and made you think harder and work harder, that type of thing. So I think it's a net positive to have competition in politics, and we just need more people, more high quality people running for office. Is my opinion.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
All right, so I always ask my guests to kind of look into the camera and do some final words on encouraging people to run for local and state office.
Well, one of the biggest problems is, like you said, we don't have quality people stepping up. There are a lot of people out there that have had a good life in business and or in government, and they have a lot of knowledge, and they can make a huge difference. All right. Too many times, people that do run for office do so because of special interests. They have some reason that they want to be elected, and some kind of agenda. So we need independent people that don't have an agenda, that just want to represent the people and help the people step up. And if we can do that, we can actually turn the country around. There are too many. Right now, we have a president that's selling sneakers and selling watches.
Yeah.
But is that in the best interest of the country? Is that why he's there, or is he there to help make the country a better place? So there are a lot of people out there, the silent majority. It's time we stood up and spoke up and started doing what needs to be done.
Hey, Jay, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your time. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. But for our viewers out there, we all say thank you for running, winning, and serving. We need more people like you. So, signing off on another episode of Independence for America. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.